What brings you here?
Hey there, Ahar here. Today we're taking a look at trinkets for Guardian Druid in 10.1. Jumping straight into it, we have our BIS trinket, Beacon to the Beyond. This trinket is a massive nuke that does cosmic damage. It increases in damage for each enemy struck up to 5 targets. In addition to that, the trinket is buffed by Guardian Druid talents, specifically Fury of Nature, Ellune's Favored, and Rage of the Sleeper. I did 3 separate tests with this trinket. One with just the regular Thorns of Iron build, no Fear of Nature, no Ellune's Favored, no Rage of the Sleeper pressed, and it did 541k. And another test with Fear of Nature and Ellune's Favored, and it did 714k, no Rage of the Sleeper again. And for the last test, it was with Fear of Nature, Ellune's Favored, and Rage of the Sleeper, and it did 862k. We ran a few of the dungeons on 18s, and here's the damage breakdown. As you can see, the trinket was doing about the same as my top damaging abilities. However, these runs were learning dungeons, so we had a lot of wipes on bosses. So during all that run back time, we had the trinket coming off cooldown. So this trinket is probably going to be doing about 8 to 10%, closer to 8% probably, if I had to guess, for my overall damage. Jumping into the next trinket, this lava wave is from Igneous Flowstone. This trinket rotates on a cycle every 30 seconds. It either does flat damage or it gives you a crit buff. As you can see from the flat damage proc, it was doing about 3.2% of my overall. Overall, I think this trinket is a pretty good one. It does a decent amount of damage, gives you a crit proc, which obviously would be a little hard to calculate in terms of DPS, but for the uptime, as you can see here, it'll be uptime of 50% for the most part. Should be a very good trinket. And then jumping into the last trinket, we have, or last trinket from Raid. It's Neltharian's Call to Suffering. This is a massive main stat proc, and it has Verse on it. Verse is obviously great for Guardian Druids, and the main stat proc should be very, very nice for your overall damage, defensiveness, as it buffs your Thorns of Iron. Jumping into M+, we have Harlan's Loaded Dice. This should be probably one of the trinkets you want to farm early on if you are unable to grab the raid trinkets yet. This should be a fairly safe trinket. It gives you stats, has a fairly high uptime. Definitely would recommend. And the last trinket I wanted to bring up was Talisman of the Cragshaper. This trinket is a verse trinket. It has an on use that prevents 50% of all damage taken for 15 seconds. This has a 1-minute cooldown. I see this trinket being very useful on Tyran weeks for heavy tank busters and or bleeds. It'll probably have a bit more use on bleeds than for most one-shots. However, as long as you can live a one-shot with this trinket will be very, very useful, since you'll most likely be able to use it 2 to 3 times on a Tyran boss fight, since most Tyran boss fights lasted 3 to 4 minutes from last year. There might be a few other trinkets that I haven't taken a look at, but once again, definitely Beacon to the Beyond is by far the BIS trinket. Definitely try to get this. If you guys get this in your vault, definitely grab it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.